to OMTimes Radio. The following is an encore presentation. Welcome to Joy of Business with host Simone Milasas, a dynamic business leader with a difference. Simone has founded and operated many businesses from a young age and has always done business differently. Today, Simone is the worldwide coordinator of Access Consciousness and travels the world presenting Joy of Business programs using access tools and empowering people to know that they can create business in a different way and make money doing it. Simone Milasas, weekly on OMTimes Radio.
Hi everybody, welcome to Joy of Business. You're with Simone Milasas, your host. It's funny because I'm still at Peregian Beach in Australia. I haven't gone off travelling anywhere yet, but I will soon. So welcome to Joy of Business, welcome to the show. Now this is going to be a very different show. I haven't done this before live, but I think this is going to be lots of fun. I'm actually pretty excited about it. And I have a friend of mine here, Stella Janouris, and so welcome Stella.
Hello.
Now, the other day she started talking to me. She actually looks after us. She works with us and does so many different things and is brilliant and takes care of our house and our dog and us and amongst many, many, many other things. She's got her own sauce business, which is beautiful. So we use it on our oysters Kilpatrick. I use it with little dipping sauce. It's like there's a lot of things that she's involved in. She is self-employed now. And she was employed for 40 years. I've known you for quite some time, actually. How many years would I have known you for?
Probably about 9 years.
About 9 years, okay. And so for a long time, the one thing that you always sort of spoke about leaving your job, but it was like you didn't have the guts to do it. Like you had all these different ideas of what it was going to look like rather than actually being in the question, the willingness to follow the energy and go, you know what, let's just do it. Would you say that's correct?
That's absolutely correct, yeah.
If you can just speak out a little bit more so that they can hear us, that would be awesome. Because people are going to want to hear what you're saying. Because this is going to apply to so many different people. Is what we're doing today is the other day she's at our house and she said, you know what, I was thinking of booking a session with you because I want to expand some of my businesses. And I went, oh, why don't we do it? Why don't I gift it to you? And we do it on OMTimes live radio. So here we are today. So this is our live session with Stella. So let me give you a little bit more history. So she's been 40 years of being employed, and now she just sort of... Actually, how did you end up leaving your job?
Well, what happened was they made it very uncomfortable for me, and I gave it my best shot to be what they required, but after about 6 weeks of bursting my boiler, I realised that they didn't really want me there, and the universe was actually had my back and trying to get me out of there, because I wasn't going to do it on my own. So then what happened was I went to visit a doctor about something else, told her about what was going on at work, and then I kind of got very emotional. She said, I'm giving you some time off. So I said, just give me one more day, and I went back for a day, and I tidied up a few things, and then I took 2 weeks off, and they negotiated some money that if I chose to leave, just some entitlements, no special bonuses or anything, and it was a small amount. It was something like 10,000, and I thought, after 14 years, is that it?
And where's my watch?
Yeah, my gold watch. And I'd always had long-term jobs, so this is all that I knew, was that regularity of income, going to a place every day, moving around within a large organisation, not in the one seat or the one desk the whole time. So I took 2 weeks off, and for the first week I didn't really do much. I just kind of composed myself, and then I sent an email saying that I no longer felt confident or comfortable returning to an organisation that thought it was okay to treat people the way they do, and I worked in the HR area, and now I was receiving that treatment. And I, had a doctor's certificate, and of course my manager got a bit stressed, being the HR manager, about it all. Long story of it is, we met on a Friday after 2 weeks. He put some figures in front of me, and suddenly it grew to 20,000, so I was asking some good questions. And so I signed on the dotted line, and I never returned. So I left. Everyone thought I was sick. No one knew what happened to me. I bump into people and they say, oh, you're okay. And I go, yeah, I've never been better. So I made the jump.
Nice. And with $20,000. Nice.
Yes.
How does it get any better than that?
How does it?
Good question. So then tell me, what happened straight away when you first went into, like, what did you end up doing?
Well, that particular day, money just was thrown at me. And I just thought, yeah, this is telling me, you know, well done, Stella. So I got some money for some work I did that night. Someone paid me in advance for renting a room in my house. The next day, an access class was starting. I got the $20,000. It just felt like money was being thrown at me. And then, of course, I totally stepped out of this reality, cashed in my superannuation, which wasn't, you know.
Which your superannuation, for anyone listening, is that what the people that you work with, the organisations you work with, they put away a certain amount of money for you, and it's looked at as the retirement fund.
Yeah, so when you retire, you get this amount of money that you can draw as like a pay every fortnight. So it was still like those control mechanisms of your reality, of their reality. So I cashed all that in, so I've totally stepped out of this reality and sitting in a space of, what does the future hold? It's totally up to me now. I can't blame anyone. I can't go into somewhere and they pay me even if I'm not happy with what I'm doing. And then someone just said to me, I said, how can I contribute to your business? Can I say who it was?
Sure.
It was Shannon O'Hara from Talk to the Entity. And she said, well, I don't really have anything right now. Would you be interested in cleaning our house? I went, sure. So I rocked up there a couple of days later and I'm running up the steps and she goes, you're so happy. I went, I know, and I'm cleaning. and so it kind of went from there. And Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, has often said, and lots of other facilitators, what is the one thing that you can do that you never think would make you money that comes easy to you? And there's a few things in that category that I would never have thought cleaning. Never.
Well, but you know what? Because Stella also cleans our house, but she doesn't clean our house. She looks after it. Like, we actually have two cleaners. We have Stella and we have another lady. And the other day when the other lady left, Brendan said to me, you know, she's great for a once over, but she's just not Stella, is she? It's like, no, we call it, she Stellarizes things. And it's like, but she sees everything that's required, and it's quite a talent. It's not just like, you know, scrubbing hard elbow grease. It's like seeing things that are required to change something, so for the future, it makes it easier for you, which it is definitely a capacity. So one of the tools, if you're listening to this too, and you're listening thinking, yeah, but I don't have anything, guess what? I bet you do. Even if you write down 5 things that you actually enjoy doing, you probably think are pretty useless or has no value, and you can make money from it. So I've given this tool out before on the radio show, but please, you may have heard this the second time, first time, give it a shot. 5 things. It might be like, I like walking a dog on a beach. I mean, we ended up actually, when we went away, I just remembered that too, we had Brendan's mother staying here looking after our son. And we've got a dog as well, looking after the dog. Now, we knew that Brendan's mother was super busy and probably wasn't going to be walking our dog. So I said to Stella, can we pay you also to walk the dog? She's like, sure. I mean, it's such a minimal amount. And her partner, Marco, often comes over and just grabs our dog and walks it. We do live across the road from a great spot on the beach that Stella always goes to. It makes it nice and easy as well. But it's like, okay, so what revenue streams have you been ignoring? Then if you didn't ignore them, could show up with ease, joy and glory. And everything at that is time to go zillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyond.
One thing that has taken me a while to overcome is to stop judging myself as a cleaner in this reality. And Access Consciousness, as well as some classes in the early days on money that Shannon O'Hara was running, and I've read The Joy of Business, and all of a sudden all the things were coming together. It's almost like there was no scope sitting in an office with people with fixed points of view, with the energy was just like traffic running into me, going past me, and I always thought it was me. So to step out from what people would consider one of the best paid jobs, one of the, you know, a good organisation to work for, which was local government on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia, to step out of that and then find myself barefoot, you know, with amazing clients and actually have a capacity and not judge myself as a cleaner was a big one. And fortunately, my clients have really contributed to me realising that it is a capacity. And now I guess where I'm at is how can I utilize that energetic type of capacity in other areas that are things that I'm dabbling in. So there's about 3 things.
Okay, cool. And interesting too, if you're listening to this show and it's like, what are you great at that you've judged? I mean, it's funny that you would find cleaning as a judgeable offence, you know, and it's like always walking a dog a judgeable offence, or cleaning windows a judgeable offence, or working in the corporate world a judgeable offence, or being a stay-at-home mum. And it's like, what have you decided is worth judging when it's actually not, and you could be creating the adventure of your life? So everything that is, where you destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all names, shorts, boys and beyond. Don't forget, if you want to find out about the clearing statement, go to accessjoybusiness.com, and we've got a little section there on access consciousness, and we'll give you all the details of what that is. But all I can say is just use it. It works. Just say POC and POD, or all that stuff that Simone says on the Joy Business radio station, whatever that is. Now, one of the things here too, Stella, in your bio, it says here, instead of winding down to retire, Stella is designed to create for now and the future for fun and living a life that she knows is possible. When I read that, I was like, retire? And I was like, God, why would you retire? And then I was like, oh, I guess you're of the age that this reality says, oh, I guess you're looking at retirement now. But it totally, I had to twist my head because I was like, why would Stella retire? And I went, oh, it's the age and this reality that they say, well, you've worked hard, you've worked long enough, now it's time to retire, get a camper van and travel around Australia. So, but that's not where you're at. You'd actually like to expand your businesses. So we're going to do like a bit of a session here today too. I'm going to ask her some questions. Actually, she's got some questions that she wants to start with too. Let's have a look at the different, can you name off the different businesses that you currently have? Let's do that first.
Okay. So I clean, and I want to look at expanding that. Okay. And also that could become like house managing for people. So organising things for them, coordinating things when they're away or not away, or whatever that looks like. The other one is I created a product which just kind of I created to go with a product that my partner has at a market, and it's a sauce. And it's become quite popular, and it's screaming to get out there more. And the other thing is I'm also an Access certified facilitator, talk to the entities facilitator, a bars facilitator, and what fun would it be to be able to have something going on in the background, and I travel the world doing other things like that.
Yeah, you've been to Greece to do some bars classes, haven't you?
I did a bars class in February in Greece, and the energy of that, I know I want more of that, that's for sure.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got 3 businesses, and each one of those is something that you would like to expand on. Yeah. So we are heading off to a break very, very soon. So we'll come back and we'll start asking some questions in regards to all of those businesses. Quite different. An Access Consciousness Facilitator, a yummy, 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 yummy sauce that she makes here on the coast and sells here, and it could go global easily. And we've got the cleaning, taking care of people in their homes business. So we'll be back really soon. Don't go away. There's more to come. Thanks for joining us. With Simone Milasas, your host on Joy of Business. And we've got Stella Janouris as our, let's call her our guinea pig for today. All right. We'll see you soon.
New year, new business. Adding the joy into the pragmatics of business in 2016. How was 2015? Is it exactly as you would dream of? What if 2016 could be greater or even easier? Using the tools of Joy of Business, your facilitator, Simone Milasas, will explore how you can set up 2016 to be the year that sets you up for a future so brilliant and joyful it's currently unimaginable. What would that be like? Join her for a 4-part series starting in January 2015, January 15th, on your New Year, new business. AccessJoyofBusiness.com/New Year.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Hi, I'm Katrina Kavanagh, host of the I Am Wisdom radio show. I Am Wisdom is about the connection between mind work and energy work, spirituality and living a wonderful life. Looking forward to sharing each Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with you.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. The cutting edge of conscious radio. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi everybody, welcome back. You're with Simone Milasas on Joy Business, and today we're joined by Stella Janouris. Am I saying your name correctly?
You say it more beautifully than me.
Janouris.
I think
Janouris. Janouris, yes. Je m'appelle Simone. Je m'appelle Stella Janouris. Okay, so let's get to work. So you've got 3 businesses. So what are some of the what's the first question you've got up there? She's got a little notepad here that she's written some questions on. So let's go with that.
Well, I know how to do the doing, but how do you evolve a business with all the knowing that's required, for example, for the source or the food legislations? For a cleaning business, how do you have people working for you and get that up and running? And like I know how to get classes evolving, but to have all these things running all together and having all the requirements met, and in the beginning having to be and do it all.
Okay, so there's so many things within that. One, I want to talk about languaging. I'm just going to write some stuff down here. One, I want to talk about languaging and the energy of that. And then also, so let's start with your point of view that at the beginning you have to be the one that does it all.
Okay.
Where'd you buy that from? Is that your point of view or somebody else's point of view?
It's probably a combination, because in, let's call it the cleaning business, people want me. They want what I do. But I also realise that I can be me and change the world and be a portion of that and have others working for me. So how does one create having people work for you and pay you to make money?
So let's break this down and let's start with what you call as the cleaning business, okay? So energetically, if you look at your languaging and you look at your words, they all create an energy. Okay. Now, you've already mentioned it because you're not a cleaner. Like we said the other day, our other cleaner is great. She does a great job, great once over, but she's not Stella. Okay. So it's like, look at some of the wording, because it's like the energy that you create with it. Like you take care of us, is what I would say. And it's like you take care of us, you take care of our home, you take care of our dog, you take care of our son. So it's like it's sort of like the home carers, without saying like you're just taking care of old people. So it's like, but what name could we come up with that was not just a cleaning business? I mean, all these ideas. You've got your sauce business is called not just
more than a dipping sauce.
More than a dipping sauce. So what if it was more than a cleaning service?
Well, I'd have to change the name of the sauce to Stella Sauce.
Stella Sauce.
Stella Experience. Stella Sauce.
Okay. So you could do more than a cleaning business, because it is more than a cleaning business.
Yeah.
Now, and the other thing is there's some tools here, because yes, it's like if you said to us, okay, I've got staff and now I'm going to send my staff to your house, we would be okay with that if they were as good or better than you, okay? So it's like one of the things that I would be asking for is ask for people to show up who are better than you. Now, this was an interesting tool that I learned from Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, years ago, because I thought that no one could do my business as good as me. That was definitely my point of view. And how many of you out there have that same point of view? No one can do it as good as you. Yeah. Well, guess what? If you have that point of view, who's going to be able to do the business better than you? No one. And you're going to be stuck doing absolutely everything. Does that sound familiar, Stella?
Yeah.
So when I went to this first seminar with Gary and I came home and I was like, oh my goodness. And I was hiring all these people who couldn't do it as well as me. So if I was away, the business would start to sort of, not collapse, but it would start to lessen. We wouldn't be making as much money. We wouldn't be having as many phone calls, etc., whatever was going on. So then I started asking for people who were better than me to show up. And it was like asking for people who were better than me in sales, better than me in organizational skills, better than me in admin, better than me in every area, and not better than based on judgment, better than based on Chris Hughes, who's a regular on my show, it's like he showed up when I started asking for this. He's definitely greater than me in sales. I love that guy in sales. He's brilliant. And it's like, I can sell something. I know how to create that connection, but he does it way easier than when I do it. So why wouldn't you hire him and have him in sales? Yeah. And he became our main sales manager. That was one of my first sort of connections with Chris Hughes. So it's like, what if you asked for people to show up who could take care of people's homes better than you, okay? Yeah. And everything it doesn't allow that to show up, destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Now, the other thing, too, is you've got to be willing to be the leader.
Yeah.
So if you start hiring people and it's like you bring them around to people's houses, you've got to be willing to say, asking, it's a fine line because it's sort of like asking questions of them, how they would do something because, hey, you're asking for people to show up that are better than you. They may, clean an oven better than you, although I doubt it. But, seeing what they do and ask, what awareness do you have here? Or is there a way that you would do this quicker? Or what would you add here? And then saying, look, I have a really, letting them know the standard that you have and the standard that you like to create. And you're not going to really accept anything less. It's funny because our other cleaner, she walks around and I really want to get out of the house when she comes. She's great at doing the once over, as we said, but she huffs and puffs and she's, got a bit angry and sort of all this the whole time. And it's like, so what if you ask for people to show up who loved what they did?
Yeah, that's important.
Because this reality does go, cleaning, that's the job that you do on the sideline.
Yeah.
It's like being a waitress, the job that you do on a sideline while you're waiting to be an actor. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like, so ask for people to show up who actually love what they're doing. There's people out there who love ironing.
Yeah.
And it's like all the organizational skills. I mean, the way that you organize things is brilliant.
Okay, yeah.
So what would it take for them to show up? And everything it doesn't allow that to show up, destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So let me ask you another question. How many staff do you think you can handle?
I get 10.
10?
But in honesty, 1 to start with.
Okay, so get the energy. So all of you out there doing this, and if you've got a business and you're starting a business, get the energy of having 1 staff member, okay? Now get that energy and have a look at it, and it's like, how much money are you making? Are you making more or are you making less? And it's like, how busy are you? Are you busier or you're less busy? Look at the stress level. Look at all of that energy of having 1 person, okay? And everything that is, destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. Now get the energy of 5 staff. Is it more fun or less fun? It's like, now look at the energy of 10 staff. Look at everything that comes up for you, what that would be like. And it's like, do you go to the place if you'd have to micromanage or you'd have to control people? Or do you just let them go do whatever they want? It would be chaos. It's like, what energy comes up for you if you have 10 staff? And everything that is, where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And then look at 20 staff. What comes up for you with 20 staff? And keep doing this tool. It's a tool to change the energy of what you've decided is stuck. And then now look at, it's like, what does it cost to have people? What does it cost to hire people? How many people, how much do you pay them per hour, etc.? And it's like, what does that cost? And it's like, so you start to look at all of this and pock and pot everywhere that it's creating a limitation or a barrier for you actually choosing something more. And then you charge $30, so you get $10. So it's like if you do the math and say how many hours are you available to work, and is it like 10 hours, 20 hours, etc. So you can do it so it works for you as well. I mean, when I first hired people with Joy Business, and it's like I knew I needed more people. I couldn't do it all myself. Access Consciousness, being the worldwide coordinator, is busy enough as it is. So I needed to hire a team. So then what I started doing was giving people commissions. Because it's the same thing, like an hourly rate, and then you give them a cut of it. Because then it's like, if I'm making money, they're making money. But they're not making money if I'm not making money. So it's like you sort of have this energy of everyone desiring to contribute to it. So that's one thing if you start to look at that. And then even you can start, and then you might need to hire someone who's more on admin, who's more organising the admin side of things, and that might need to be paid an hourly. based on that. But so how do you feel about the math of the business?
Yeah, I can still get myself going into the calculation, but yeah, definitely.
Oh, no, okay. Let me get this straight. I actually mean, do you have the capacity to do the math? Because you need to have the awareness of that. You can't just go, oh, look, I hired 3 people this week and I've got these jobs and blah, blah, blah. You actually need to work out, okay, if you hire 3 people, okay, because you're claiming business, it is an hourly paid business, okay? So let's play with that. And it's like you've got 3 people that you hire and they work 10 hours for you each week. They get $20, you get $10. So what's the math of that?
Each. And I've got 5 people.
So you've got 3 people right now. So they've got 30. So they've got 10 hours each week. So that's 30 hours, and then you're charging $30 an hour. They get 20, and you get 10. Okay. So the profit of that is $300 for you. Okay. So then you look at it and go, is that it's fun for me to expand my business and to have that? I mean, the cleaning business. It's more than just a cleaning business. .com. You could be doing, especially in the area around here, there's so many holiday rentals and things like that.
I'm sitting in a gold mine. I'm sitting in a gold mine here, like it's a holiday destination. People have holiday homes, there's Airbnb homes. It's bottomless.
And what I notice is the cleaners I see that come along to some of the, places that my friends rent, they're not that enthusiastic. So it's like, what energy, space, and consciousness could you be that would actually raise the enthusiasm level with the people that are working with you as well? Okay, not for you, working with you.
Yeah. So I guess I had some cute ideas about when they rock up. If they look like they're more than just a cleaner. I don't know how to do that yet, but...
Well, actually, do you not know how to do that? Because the other day, I remember you rocked up and you looked so cute. You had this little apron on. You were like, I thought I would just make it a little bit more fun for me. So it's like, but what if it was like that? What if there was like a look that it had? It wasn't just, one of those dodgy T-shirts with a name up in the top left-hand corner. What if it was the fun factor? And what if, how many cleaning services out there hire people and say, okay, we just want you to clean, this is the amount, and it's like the drudgery, the tone of drudgery. People are actually not looking for that, and it's like they're looking for something more. So it's like, what if you offered that energetically? Like, what is energy with the way that you increased your business, and you haven't been willing to acknowledge that? And everything at that is time to Godzilla, we destroy and uncreate it. For right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, swords, boys, and beyond. So we are heading off to another break here, any second now, and we'll be back with Stella Janouris and Simone Milasas on the Joy of Business. And if you want to find out more about Joy of Business, go to accessjoyofbusiness.com. And so don't leave us. Don't go away.
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
The Laying On of Hands Healing Radio Show is about treating the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. Join me, Charles Smith, as I share life balancing measures such as nutrition and spiritual practices to help you take charge of your own health and wellness every Thursday at 7 p.m. on OMTimes Radio.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here are facilitating a class for the Earth with the Earth. The Earth class is a special 3-day class designed to give you the tools to create change wherever you go on this beautiful planet of ours. Join Gary and Dane in Houston, Texas, or online January 24th to the 26th. Go to www.accessconsciousness.com/earthclass for more information. All proceeds will go to El Lugar, a non-profit foundation dedicated to creating greater ecological possibilities.
connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Joy of Business. We're here with Simone Milasas and Stella Janouris, and we're just talking about her businesses. And what we finished was looking at the energy that you actually create around the business. And I mean, what if it was that simple? Like truly, what if it was that simple? What if it wasn't about, all the action that you had to do? And yes, you still have to take action. But what if it was as simple as what energy, space and consciousness can you and your business be that will allow it to expand exponentially? And everything that doesn't allow that to show up, we destroy and uncreate it. Yeah. All right. Well, good and bad. Pop and put on night shorts, boys and beyond. Okay. So you've now got 3 staff. Okay. They're working 10 hours a week each. Yeah. Okay. Where are you going to start to look for those staff? What is the action that you can take?
Well, word of mouth. Can ask the business to bring me the staff that are better than me. Obviously, word of mouth. And
so do you want them to show up now? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. No matter what it takes, no matter what it looks like? Yeah. All right, so let's ask the consciousness of the universe to start showing you people who can actually contribute to you in the way that you know it works. Yeah. And that they will work with you, okay? You really want to ask for people who work with you, not for you. Because if they're working for you, then that's that same energy of they'll never do a better job than you. Whereas if they're working with you, it's like they're grateful, they're happy, you're grateful, you're happy, and it's like, okay, what else can we create together? Great question to ask if you have staff as well. What else can we create together? So ask it every day. Send a text out to everyone if you're actually, in different regions or something like that. It's like, what else can we create together today? So what else about the taking care of the more than a cleaning business? What else do we need to look at with that?
So many cleaners go and quote a job. So the owner of the business will go and quote a job, and they'll say to the client, this will take us 3 hours. And they'll cost out the job at 3 hours, plus I don't know what else they tack on. So they quote a lump sum. A cleaner goes to that house. If she, for some reason, takes 4 hours, she knows she's only going to get paid for 3. Because I researched this and pretended I wanted to work for someone when I first started cleaning. And she said to me, you'll eventually get quicker. I said, how do you do that? Because I don't know how to get quicker sometimes, because I see more that requires doing. So then I started asking for clients that only want someone who is going to, they don't care how long they take, but they love what I do and they don't know what I do. But there is usually a time limit. You just don't go on forever. But what I'm finding is sometimes they'll say, can you stay an extra hour, or they'll give me other jobs. And I had a client recently, and she said, you can take as long as you like. I mean, you can take this long if you add another. And I thought, wow, I asked for that. So, that's another thing, is to ask for clients that.
So how could your cleaning business be different then? Like, just because that's an industry standard. So any way that you are functioning a business and it has an industry standard, and it's like, what if you didn't function from the industry standard? So everywhere that you've brought into the projections of what industry standard is, where you destroy and uncreate it, and right, wrong, green, bad, pop and put on and short, both and beyond. And I love that energy. That's the energy I'm talking about. Yeah. I mean, if you spoke to people and said, hey, look, I can quote you, I can say this is going to take 3 to 5 hours, but we do a great job. Try us out. If you don't like it, then you don't have to try us out again.
And also I thought, well, why don't I go into a house with someone else? So there's 2 of us. I'm actually learning from them, they're learning from me. It's like a little partnership. And then eventually I would come in maybe after and do some finishing touches, and then but what would it take to have staff to do that anyway?
So what would it take for it to be about following the energy as well and functioning in 10-second increments and knowing what's required and when it's required? Because if you've got that aerial view of your business, so we talk about something about expanding the zone of awareness of your business, okay? So it's like just because somebody else goes to a client doesn't mean you're not aware of what's actually going on in the client's house at that time. So it's like you can be aware of that, you can be working somewhere else and have 2 other people working in 2 different places, and you can still be aware of the energy of what's going on. And you'll know, you'll get this hit of going, oh, I've got to call this person right now just to check in, or, what's going on. So it really is about expanding the zone of awareness of your business and using the energy to contribute to your business as well. So everything that is time to go dealing with, destroying, and creating. Right now, I'm putting that top and pot on and short boys and beyond.
So right now, I'm sitting in this okay, I've got the knowledge, I've got the energy, I've got the how to. I've asked questions, so it's already starting to, formulate. The molecules are shifting and moving. I require to be the matching molecule so they find me, but I can still feel this, how the hell? Do I?
What's the how? So what part of what we just did, don't you get, is an action?
Okay, so I think what I've misidentified is I'm already going into the doing.
Well, you do have to do stuff. Okay? Please don't get me incorrect here, anyone listening, that it's like, oh, you just ask the answer and then you walk away and sit in front of the TV drinking a beer. It's like, no. You do actually have to do something. So then what if every day you're like, okay, what action step do I need to take today to create the business I truly desire? Yeah. Everything that is times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, top and pot, all names, shorts, boys, beyond. And it could be just do some math, and do some math for the awareness of it. Not to say that's exactly how it's going to be, but just for the awareness of it. So you're like, oh, if I was employing one person, if I was employing two, employing three, and it's like, to begin with, it might be better to employ one person. It might be better to have one admin person that is extremely organized that covers all your three businesses. So they can, do some social media for you in different areas, or they can answer phones, or they can make bookings, or they can do something like that. Like, which bits of the business are you is not so much fun for you?
I think it's just making sure that things are, I'm good at coordinating, I'm okay at the admin. I think it's possibly just tying in all the advertising and social media and...
Okay, so what if you employ someone? Because nowadays, social media is amazing. It's the best advertising in the world. So what if you started to employ someone that was just... you could even clean their house for 2 hours a week, to get them to do your social media. It's like, it doesn't have to be... the world started on bartering system. I've got some eggs. You've got a pig. Can we swap some food here? That's how it started. It didn't start with money. So it's like, what if you went back to that system? Because some people, it's like, someone would rather sit in front of their computer for 2 hours or 3 or 4 or 5, whatever it is, on social media than clean their house. I would rather work than clean my house. I'd rather work than cook. But luckily I've got Brendan that cooks. Yeah. So it's like, hey, you even love cooking. You could even bring that in. It's like, what is more than just a cleaning service? You could bring like a casserole or something like that once a week, or some sort of, soup in winter. It's a big thing of soup, and someone could have that a few nights a week. So I would love that. Like, that's the sort of thing. Brendan would kill me because he loves cooking, but that's the sort of thing that could work. And it's like, so more than a cleaning service, it's sort of like, what else? What would you like to make your life easier? What if that was the question you were asking your clients? And that's where your staff are willing to function from. So everything that is and everything that doesn't feel easy, can we just throw and create it? So right now I'm getting that top and corona and short boys and beyond.
And the other bit that I'm not really good at is organising my computer so I can drive around it and be running 3 businesses and knowing where I'm required and where energy. I get where the energy is required. I get that. That'll wake me up in the morning, at 3 o'clock. So I really get that. And then it's balancing it, not balancing it all, but getting to that point where you can go somewhere.
Okay. So what if the first person you had to hire was somebody who helped you with that? It was like admin/social media.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I require.
Okay, so let's ask for someone who is better than you, which obviously it might not be too hard, who loves doing it and would be really excited to have something, on the side to be helping you out here on the Sunshine Coast in Australia. But they could live anywhere too. But it might help to be local. So it's like, and it's sort of, it's okay to sort of get a little bit specific with what you'd like to ask for too. So let's move on to one of your other businesses. let's move on to the dipping sauce business. Yeah. So what's the changes that are occurring there?
So the source is actually telling me it wants to get out there. And I've been piggybacking off my partner's business, which is a market stall, and he sells it for me. I make it. I get, cheap online sort of company to do my stickers. It's very, very, basic amateurish.
Hang on. I'm stopping. The source is not average. Maybe your marketing skills are average, okay? Can we get clear on that? Because the source is awesome.
So the sauce has become very popular, and people say that they get my partner's Japanese dumplings on his market stall just to have my sauce and lick the plate. And so then what happened was I created this sauce for a specific purpose, and then I started cooking at home with it. So that just opened up another area. And so now I'm at the point where I was asking, well, how do I find out all the food regulations, all the labeling requirements? And sure, you can Google everything, but that just goes me in. So then this lady I've known this lady for a very long time, who won a national business award. And I said, someone suggested that I engage like a celebrity chef and help him get it out there. She goes, I'll help you get it out there. So she's kind of become my mentor, but she's hard to pin down. And so
So let me stop you for a second, because everywhere that you've decided this lady is the answer, can we destroy and uncreate it? This is the way the world works. This is the way the universe works. It'll show you someone that will give you a piece of information, a hint of something, and then you sort of, head in that direction. Now, she may work and she may not work, but being a leader of your life and being a leader of your business, you have to keep heading where you're going. So if you've already got this place where she's a bit hard to pin down, then who or what else do you have to add to the business? Now, I'm wondering if there's somebody out there that you could hire that could also help you with that, the form and structure of setting that whole business up, plus doing the social media, plus organizing your, schedule and any other staff that you're hiring schedule. What would it take for that person to show up? And it could be two people, it could be one person. But the one thing that you have to do is come out of any answers or conclusions that you've gone to, okay? Daily. So my call for you, Stella, and everybody else is pock and pod everywhere that I've gone to answer or conclusion today. Destroy and uncreate it. Right now, I'm going to buy a pock and pod all night, shorts, boys, and beyond. And also, while we're here, destroy and uncreate your relationship with your business. Okay? Destroy and uncreate your relationship with your business and your employees and your future employees. All right? Wrong, good and bad. Pock and pod all night, shorts, boys, and beyond. So we're going to be heading off to another break, and this is going way too fast.
Welcome to a special one-time class based on Dr. Dane Here's Being You, Changing the World book. This class has no prerequisites and uses the toolbox of Access Consciousness. For this one-time premiere, you can join us in the end of January 2016 in Australia, Sweden, USA, or Denmark. Go to beingnewclass.com/premiere to sign up. Is now the time to be what and who you actually came here to be.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
The Conscious Parenting Radio Show provides inspiration and resources for loving, empowering, and respecting your children and yourself. Join me, Timothy, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as we consciously explore proven ways of living together in happiness, health, and harmony.
your conscious connection to a more mindful world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hi everybody, welcome back. Joy of Business, Simone Milasas and Stella Janouris. You know, things happen all the time. Nothing ever shows up as perfect as you think it's going to show up. Is that right? Am I right? So we've just been doing this pre-record, and my husband took my car and drove off in my car, which is connected to my phone. So I think he could hear us in the car. And it took the speaker off here. So then I'm going, the adverts are so low. I can't hear the adverts. I'm not sure if I'm speaking over the top of the adverts. All I had to do was click my little button that says speaker. So guess what? Sometimes, you know what? Life never shows up the way you think it is, and you got to look at the energy and go, okay, what next? Is there anything here that I should be doing that I'm not? Sorry. So let's go on to your, you were talking about your source business.
Yeah.
And we were about this lady who could help you out. So it's like, what? So let me ask you a question. Do you know where you'd like to head with the source business?
Yeah, I'd like to have it distributed. I'd like to have it distributed in supermarkets all over Australia, but not the large ones, the smaller independent type supermarkets and whatever is possible.
How many of that is conclusion?
Lots.
Everything of that is we destroy and uncreate it?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyond. So what other conclusions do you have about the source business? Now she's too scared to speak.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me do this. Okay, so all the 100 conclusions that you currently have about the source business, where you destroy and uncreate them.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyond. So look, this is a really common occurrence, and people do this in business all the time. They think they have to work it out before they even start. But in truth, just start. Like, that's it. Just start.
Well, that's how it happened. That's how it occurred. It just, I had an idea, I researched, I made it to my liking, and then I started cooking, and it's getting bigger, but I need help. Yeah.
Okay. So all the butts?
Yeah.
Can we destroy and uncreate the butts as well, except for the one you're sitting on? Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all names, shorts, boys and beyond. Okay, so what if we do this? And anyone out there listening, if you have a service or a product, you can do exactly the same thing. When I asked you, where would you like to head with the source, and it's like, look at the energy of it. Is it to be global?
Yes.
Okay.
It already is in a small way.
Okay, yeah, well, people are buying it and they're taking it overseas. Yeah, it's global. So guess what? You can call your business the global source business, like whatever your, Stella's global business. You have sold it overseas. Yeah. So do that. And it's like, because that's actually the zone of awareness of your business. And it's like, you've sold it to people in the US and Italy, wherever you've sold it. And it's like, but energetically, back to the energy of business, it's taking it right back to that place again of your business being global.
Yeah. The
source jumping on a plane with someone that you know has created it as a global business, okay?
And I really get that a product can be more clever than you.
Yep.
Because I was at someone's house the other day, and only that morning I asked, okay, source, what do you require of me? I seem to be thinking I've got to drive this. Show me. And I'm sitting at someone's house and I go, that's really funny. On Facebook, more than a Dipping Source Facebook page has just come up, and I don't know what happened, but it's kind of like I boosted the ad and I didn't.
Right.
And I go, clever source. So I do have this connection with the source. It's just like the things we've discussed, and I can see now I don't have to be all.
Okay, so one of the things that we talk about in Access 2 is the 3 energies that you require for business: connector, creator, mover. And we have spoken about it on this show. And it's like, I would see, now it's interesting because Stella, with you, and it's like a connector is obviously someone who talks to, everybody constantly and is willing to talk about anything. And then you've got the mover. The mover is the one who's willing to perceive the future and what's required. So, and sort of what's required to choose today to put it into place for the future. And the creator is the one who actually starts to has those creative ideas and starts to, put them into place. Now, I would actually say that you're all 3 of them. But interestingly enough, if you look at if you're all 3 of them, then which ones are you for the source business?
The creator and the tiny piece of the connector and a tiny piece of the mover.
Yeah. So then what does your business require?
A mover and a connector.
Yeah. So if you start to ask for what would it take for a connector and a mover to show up for the source business, and it's like someone who would love to be a part of that, like love checking out all of the requirements, etc., for what, you know, with the business, with the food and health regulations and, you know, and the labeling and all stuff like that as well. And it's like, so ask for the connector and the mover to show up that's actually going to change your business. And everything it doesn't allow that to show up, can we destroy and uncreate it? Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So what part are you with the cleaning business, connector, creator or mover?
I'm the creator and the mover and the connector.
Yeah, you are. You're actually all three with those. So what if that business, in that sense, you were the creator, connector, mover, and what you required was institutors. You required people to come along who were going to clean a house. How?
Better than me.
Yes. Yes. How's it getting better than that?
That's not possible. No. Pock and pot everywhere I do that.
Okay. Yes. Pock and pot. Everything that is. Times of God's and right and wrong, good and bad. Pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So we've got about 6 minutes to go, and your last business here, well, not the last business, okay? This is 3 businesses that you are currently looking at. And if you start to refer to them too as, oh, this is one of my businesses that I make money from, okay? Because then what are you doing? You're giving the business a job to do. Its job is to make you money. Oh, look, this is the source business. This is one of the businesses that I make money from. These are 3 of the businesses that I currently have, that I'm currently playing with. Yep. Like, goes back, what we were talking about right at the beginning, the words and the energy of what you create around your business.
Yep.
Okay? So let's talk about the Access Consciousness Facilitating business. How does that make you feel?
Where do I start?
So truth, are you a good facilitator?
Yes.
Okay. Are you a connector, creator, mover in this business?
I think more a connector. Creator, a little bit of a connector, but not the mover. So not the, you know, you see people have their web pages and everything's all hooked up on LinkedIn and they're advertising. I'm not that person. Okay,
so we've basically come to the place where I think you need to, it's like, you know, if you added someone who was that mover in the social media for you, etc., that could work. And just to, I mean, so many people out there, if you're facilitating classes, like, I mean, I do joy business classes, and it's like Foundational 1 classes, bars classes. Stella does Foundational 1 classes and bars classes and talks to the entities classes, etc. But it's very, very rare that someone can actually promote themselves easily. Okay? You usually need someone else to promote you. And it always sounds better when someone else, you know, is promoting you anyway. It's like instead of you walking around going, hey, you've got to come to my class. And golden rule number 1 is a great tool to ask people too, is say, hey, I'm doing this class. Do you know of anyone who would like to come? Yeah. Because then it takes it away from the person actually having to come, and they might end up going, oh, I wouldn't mind coming, or, oh, yeah, my friend Johnny, you know, he'd probably get a lot out of that, etc. So it's like, what if you hired someone who was that admin / organizer / mover / social media that could add to your life? And it's like, when I say that, what comes up for you?
Well, I already have someone in mind. And funnily enough, I've been observing her trying to find a job 2 days a week and she's not finding it. And then I go, oh, then I have to pay her. Oh, maybe not. I could barter maybe. So, yeah, all of a sudden there.
Okay, cool. No, thank you for saying that, because it's a lot of the times, like, so if you can look at this energetically, we've come to this place where it's like, all right, this is the next action step. Okay? And it's like, and then how many conclusions do you go to, or how many times do you negate what can show up and what the energy is asking for by making it about money or the lack of money?
Or judging that person as not suitable.
But if that person's not suitable, then it's not, you're not getting, well, I was going to say not getting married, but not many marriages last very long nowadays anyway. But this is not a contract that you have to stick to. So everywhere that you thought that you had to hire someone, just because you hired them, you had to stick to it rather than going, okay, so that's not really working out for me or you. And a great way to do that too is, and we've got these, we call it the Joy of Business language ambassadors at the moment. So we're hiring people throughout the world, you know, in Spanish or, you know, Polish, etc. And it's a 12-month agreement. And it's like, and it's written down of what they get and what we would like from it. And each language I know is going to be completely different. So it's like, but what if you even hired someone and said, hey, can we try it out? I would say from 1 to 3 months. Like, give it a shot. But you'll know and say, and look, and just see if it's still working for you, because you're giving them that deal of like, hey, I want to make sure this is actually working for you. Because you do. If your staff aren't happy, it's no use having them around. They're not going to create anything. So see if it works for them, see if it works for you, and then go from there. And say, hey, look, money, be honest. You don't have to be this like rich, wealthy person hiring people. You can say, hey, money's, tight at the moment, or I do have concerns about payment. Like, I know you have to pay your rent, etc., or mortgage, but I'm a little concerned about this. So can you help me make money? So what are you doing? Giving them a job to do.
Yeah.
If I'm hiring you, I've got to be making more money. So can you help me make more money? Do you know ways of doing that?
Yeah, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because we're almost at the end of our show. So Stella, you are an Access Consciousness facilitator, so that means people can find you on accessconsciousness.com. Look up Queensland, Australia, and you'll find Stella Janouris. With a J. And if you're in Queensland, Australia, and listening to this show in the Sunshine Coast, you can check her out for her more than just a cleaning business. And where can they find the source?
I have a Facebook page called More Than a Dipping Sauce. And you can also connect with me through Access Consciousness Greece Facebook page. And my email address is, at the moment, Stella Star, one word, STAR_1 @hotmail.com.
Nice. So lots of places there. So can someone order the sauce and be sent overseas? Is that possible?
I'll make it happen.
You'll make it happen. Excellent. I like that. That's making the demand. And that's the other thing. Just before we leave, you've got to be willing to make the demand for your business to get out there, no matter what it takes and no matter what it looks like. And the 2 words that I would like to leave you with is the place of just start. What if you just started? If you just started today, what could you create? So thank you so much for joining us here on OMTimes, the Joy Business Radio Station with Simone.